You know, when people found out I was writing the book, a lot of times they'd say, well, what brought you to this project, or what was your inspiration? And I was working on another project. I was writing about the Columbus Way, which is the term coined to define Columbus's cultural practice, if you will, of getting things done, how the private sector and public sector, civic sector, and now you can include grassroots sector in that, how they work together to accomplish great things in Columbus. And one of the things I had to do as part of this project was to develop some case studies on some deeper dives into some stories. And one of those things we wanted to write about was the Save the Crew effort. Now, this was before the crew was even saved. It was in September of 2018. And so it was introduced to Morgan Hughes, who I learned was the spokesperson of the Save the Crew effort. Morgan and I had some beers at the Seventh Son Brewing Company on 4th Street here in Columbus, and spent a couple hours together, and I started learning about the Save the Crew effort, and started writing about it 2 weeks to the day of when I met Morgan. It was September 28th, I think. 2 weeks later, October 12th, was when the crew was quote unquote saved. And again, it was a great story, even if that wasn't the result. Ended up running into Morgan again, probably a month later, maybe a couple months later, at the Metropolitan Club luncheon. It was actually a luncheon to introduce or to honor Dr. Pete Edwards and Dee Haslam as the new owners. Alex Fisher was kind of the host, if you will. And Morgan was walking ahead of me, and I hadn't seen him since that day. And of course, I was thrilled with how everything materialized. But I said, hey, Morgan, you did it. We did it, And he's like, yeah, we did. And so we decided to get another beer. I wanted to learn more about, some of the detail behind how it all came together. That led to another beer. And finally, I just kept learning more and more and more. And I found out that the story is so rich and so deep, and included 19 individuals who all had such an important role in this effort. And so I said to Morgan once, I said, Morgan, you've got to write a book about this. And I'll never forget it, he literally said, F no, I can't write, I'd rather drink poison, why don't you write it? And one thing led to another, and here we are.